What's up guys, it's Austin. Welcome to today's vlog. Today I'm going to be talking about why I ghost hunt alone. So, if you guys have been watching the channel for the past 4 years, I've had friends ghost hunting with me occasionally. There was one location that I did in 2020 alone, and that was an abandoned house. It was the scariest thing ever. I was in there for about 30 minutes and it was one of the scariest locations I've been to alone. Obviously I've been to a few more alone, but that was like one of the scariest ones. And then middle of 2020, Mike joined me on some investigations. So his first ever investigation with me at a haunted place was the most haunted graveyard in our city. We both enjoyed that investigation so much. And by the end of it, we're just like, wow, we like caught a lot. Cause in the first half we weren't catching much, and then I'm just like, let's go back to the graveyard and try catching more stuff. I say, let's go back to the graveyard, and we ended up catching what we wanted, which was proof that it was haunted. We had EMF readings going off the charts. Mike was seeing shadow figures.
Okay, I swear I just seen someone like run from a grave to another grave.
You gotta be joking. Right as we come back?
Yeah.
I was hearing footsteps and so was he, and we were hearing weird stuff even in the graveyard right next to us.
I just heard a ting.
You heard a ting?
It was like a, what you call it,
Like a ting of metal?
yeah, like someone going like, but on the other side.
What the f? And then I believe at the end of the year, we went to the Haunted Tunnel, which then we got our attachment to Shadow Man. If you want me to make a full-length video of how the Shadow Man started and everything, I do have some videos explaining it, but I could go into full detail if you guys want me to. Just comment that down below if you want that. But yeah, we went to the tunnel, we got a demonic attachment, and it stuck with us for a while. It stuck for me a lot longer, even after I stopped being friends with Mike at one point. So before all that, Nick started investigating with us. Actually, no, it was after the attachment that Nick started investigating with us. I'm not currently friends with Nick. I haven't been friends with him since 2021. He for some reason blocked me out of nowhere. We never had any fight or verbal argument. It was just, he blocked me out of the blue. I don't know why, but me and him are not friends anymore. We're just choosing not to be, I guess. But anyways, when he got on board, we went to a couple crazy locations like the Witch's Ford and all this stuff. So he left. So that's one friend that left. This is part of the reason why I ghost hunt alone. I'm just going through every detail of this just so that you guys can understand what led to me ghost hunting alone at this point in time. So he leaves. Me and Mike kind of are still doing our own thing. We're doing like 3 a.m. challenges, which are so much fun until we get scared, of course. Yeah, we were doing 3 a.m. challenges, we were doing all kinds of random things. And then later in the year of 2021, so we lost Nick, and then I got frustrated with Mike because there were things that we would talk about behind the scenes that you guys have never seen. And some of the things he was saying I was not in agreement with. It was things that he was specifically saying to me about the channel, other stuff like that. I don't want to get into it because we actually are friends now. After that, I'm just like, okay, I have no one to go ghost hunting with now. Usually I go to these places with a friend. So what I did was in October, I believe, I went to the haunted graveyard that we went to, the most haunted one in our city. I went there alone, and it was one of the most scariest times of my life because I had not been there without a friend before. So I'm just like, okay, this will be interesting. How am I gonna top the last couple videos I've done on this place that I've done with Nick and Mike? Well, I topped it. I got the most activity I'd ever gotten there. I topped both videos. And so I'm just like, wow, I should actually do this alone more often. Like, it seems like I get more activity. I still think alone you do get more stuff, a little bit more. Nowadays, I think I get even a lot more than that now, which is crazy to think because we had crazy investigations, all 3 of us together like that. But yeah, I did the graveyard, and then eventually I did the Devil's Garden. Back in 2022, I did the Empress Theater, and then a year after that, I did the Haunted Tunnel series that you guys have seen already. So I've been to a decent amount of places alone, but not very many. So there is a couple reasons why some other friends left, because we were eventually gonna film more videos with CJ. If you guys don't know, he was in the Ouija board video where we played it at this haunted mine entrance, and it was at that point that even Nick was questioning our safety. He's just like, Austin, like, we're doing really intense things, we're doing seances at really demonic places, and we're putting our lives in danger. So there was a point where he did mention that to me, and I think I told him, I'm just like, you know, if you don't want to do this stuff, you don't have to. None of us are forcing you to do this, not even me or Mike, because usually it was just us 3, me, Nick, Nick, and Mike. That's it. There are more reasons why I don't go with friends, and one of them is the activity. The activity goes up sky high when I'm alone. Number two, I think it entertains you guys a lot when I go alone, because you guys are just like, oh my god, that looks so scary. Like, you went to a tunnel, an abandoned tunnel by yourself where there's known sacrifices. Oh, and by the way, here's a little something to put into perspective. Our city, Lethbridge, has one of the highest crime rates in all of Canada. We are sitting at number 1 for the highest amount of crime in all of Canada. I even looked at a top list because I didn't believe one of my friends that said that, and I'm just like, oh my god, we have the highest crime in all of Canada. That's insane. And I'm going to these places alone where there's known sacrifices and bad people like hang out there. That's also something you gotta think about when you're going alone to these places. Like, you're gonna maybe encounter people, and I have encountered people doing other things with haunted stuff, but I've never encountered a cult. I've never encountered witches doing weird rituals or anything like that. Yet. So now this ghost hunting alone adventure on my whole channel is getting to a point where I'm having to push the boundaries a lot. There is one thing I have not done alone, and that is going to a haunted forest. That is something that's always been way out of my comfort zone, even when I went to the tunnel. Okay, so you guys know I filmed the tunnel series last year. The year before that, I was actually gonna go there, and I've talked about this very briefly before on the channel. So back in 2022, a year before I filmed the series, I was actually gonna film it in 2022. I took a taxi out there, I could see the tunnel in sight, got out, walked over to it. I was just like standing there. The sun was just about to go down, it was just about to set. I wanted to be there when it was kind of light out so I could check if there was anybody in the tunnel hiding in there so that I wouldn't personally get hurt. A lot of these locations you can't really do that because they're wide open parks and everything, so like you have to be very careful or at least try to check beforehand. I didn't even get that far. I chickened out and I called a taxi to go right back home. I am definitely not doing this today, but I did it the year after. Now I guess we'll get into the whole forest thing. I've done graveyards by myself. I've done a couple abandoned locations by myself. I've done haunted buildings by myself. I've never done a forest by myself. That is the one place that I would absolutely refuse, flat out refuse to go to by myself, because you just don't know what's in there. It's the same deal with the tunnel, but like forests, it's like super wide open terrain and you don't know who's gonna be there. Same thing with all these other places. They're known for demonic sacrifices and having cults go there in the middle of the night at like 3 in the morning or something like that. So I would always call Mike or Nick or whoever to come with me because I didn't want to go there alone. Eventually I'm gonna have to push that boundary and actually go to a haunted forest alone because I know you guys probably want to see that. But yeah, there was a comment on my channel, I think the other day, that made me want to do this video, and people have been commenting this sometimes friends in real life, not online, would actually ask me this. They're just like, why don't you go to these places with friends? Why do you go there alone? It would be much smarter to go with people. This is the reason why. Like, this whole explanation in this video is the reason why I go alone now. Because one, our lives were in danger a few times, especially with the attachments that we would get with spirits. And two, Mike, he has a different life now. He has, I think, a part-time or full-time job now. So it wasn't like before where we could just go to each other's houses whenever we pleased and just film videos. It's not like that anymore. It's totally different. Like, we became friends last year before I did the tunnel series. I could have called him to do it, but I'm like, no, I want to stick to doing this stuff alone. YouTube is what ruined our friendship, and I don't want to bring YouTube back into our friendship because of what happened and what we were saying to each other and whatever. In a lot of ways, YouTube was really great for our friendship. We could go out ghost hunting and we can just like mess around and do whatever we wanted, but it got to a point where we were going to each other's houses way too much, like almost on the daily. I noticed that we would kind of get a little bit annoyed with each other with how much we were around the other person so much. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that with any of your friends, but that's what it was like for us, and that led to our friendship being cut off. And funny enough, he actually saw me at a Walmart last year. He said sorry for everything that he said and whatever, and we got back to being friends, but we have not gone back to filming with each other because he's just very busy now. But yeah, this is the whole reason I wanted to make this video, is because people keep asking me, why don't you go with friends? It would be smarter to go with friends. This is why. Friends felt like they were in danger and all this other stuff. Now I'm basically putting my life at risk for your guys' entertainment, going alone to these places and doing these 3 a.m. challenge rituals, such as dry bones and all that other stuff, Bloody Mary. Oh, it's been a crazy 3 years that I've been alone doing this, ever since me and Mike cut off our friendship 3 years ago. But obviously we're friends again. We just don't do this together. So I think you guys probably want to know this since you're watching this video. What's the most scariest place I've had to investigate alone in the past 3 to 4 years. Well, let's think. I've been to the tunnel, I've been to an abandoned house. The abandoned house, I did say, was one of the most scariest ones. Probably not the most scariest. It was definitely up there. I'd put that one at number 2. The tunnel I am putting at number 1 because that place was dead on terrifying. Not saying the house wasn't. The house was very terrifying, but the tunnel was a whole new level. But yeah, anyways, I think that's all I gotta say for why I go ghost hunting alone now, and why I never go with friends, because most of them end up quitting because of how dangerous and scary it is. Like, for real, that's why. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it answered a lot of your guys' questions on why I do this by myself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to please comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.